For days, the internet has been left piecing together fragments of a brutal family feud, lives, leaks, and a hospital bed. But now, the silence is broken. Tessa has finally spoken out, and her story is more devastating, more explosive, and more shocking than anyone imagined. In an emotional voice note, Tessa lays it all bare, describing the exact moment she walked up to Terrine's door. The screams she heard before it opened and the terrifying seconds that ended with her bleeding, crying, and clutching nothing but air. She claims she never came with violence, never came to fight. All she wanted was her son. But instead, she says she was ambushed, outnumbered, and dragged into the most humiliating moment of her life. Her words, haunting. Her pain, unmistakable. Her accusation, that Terrine wasn't alone and someone else was waiting inside, ready to make sure Tessa left without her child. And if what Tessa's saying is true, this isn't just family drama anymore. This is a calculated takedown, but here's the twist. Tessa claims she has proof and she's ready to release it. Stay locked, cause the truth she's telling might blow this story wide open too. Understand why Tessa's emotional explanation has set the internet on fire. We have to rewind, not just days, not just months, but years, cause this wasn't some random fight at a doorstep. This was the boiling point of a family feud that's been festering in silence, denial, and betrayal for far too long. Let's start with the basics. Chrisean Rock's family history is messy, and that's putting it lightly. Everyone knows Chrisean as the wild, unpredictable star of reality TV and her toxic roller coaster with Blueface. But behind the headlines, the Rock family has always been fractured. Different siblings, different loyalties, cousins against cousins. And old wounds that never really healed. Enter Tessa, one of the sisters who often stayed quiet in the shadows while Chrisean's chaos dominated the spotlight. For years, Tessa was painted as the responsible one, the quieter sister who avoided online drama. She wasn't chasing fame, she wasn't clout chasing, she was raising her son, staying out of the cameras. But according to Chastity, another Rock sister, things started shifting when Terrine, a cousin with her own history of shady moves, somehow ended up with custody of Tessa's son. And this is where the family tree turns into a spiderweb. Sources close to the Rocks claim Terrine had been helping out with the child while Tessa was going through a rough patch. Rumors of financial struggles, possible housing issues, maybe even a temporary CPS investigation. On paper, it looked like Terrine was stepping up to keep the boys safe. But behind the scenes, insiders insist it was less about protection and more about control. And if there's one thing you should know about the Rock family, it's this. When control shifts, chaos follows. Because Chastity swears Tessa never gave up her rights as a mother. She says Tessa thought she was just allowing temporary guardianship, a quick fix until she got stable again. But somewhere along the way, things changed. Papers were allegedly filed. Signatures may have been forged. And suddenly, Tessa found herself in the nightmare scenario no parent ever wants. Watching someone else raise her child, she was locked out. Now here's where things get darker. Terrine wasn't just some random cousin stepping in. According to leaked messages and whispers from insiders, she had Chrisean's quiet backing. Remember? Chrisean may be famous now, but family ties run deep. And when Tessa started pushing back, trying to demand custody again, that's when tensions exploded. Behind the scenes, relatives described screaming matches at family gatherings. Tessa begging, Chastity backing her, Terrine shutting her down, and Chrisean allegedly saying it's handled. Stop stressing, but handled how? That's the question nobody can answer without shaking. Because here's what Tessa finally revealed. In her explanation, she says she didn't show up at Terrine's door out of the blue. She says she had tried every other option first, phone calls, texts, mediation, even begging Chrisean to intervene. And every time, silence. Doors slammed. Messages ignored. So when she finally went that day, Tessa says it wasn't out of anger. It was out of desperation. But desperation is a dangerous thing in a family. This volatile dot, because if you believe Chastity's version of events, Terrine wasn't unprepared. She had people waiting, security, maybe even friends posted up inside the apartment. In other words, they were ready for Tessa. And that's what makes her story so gut-wrenching, because whether you believe she was set up or not, the result was the same. A mother walked up to get her child and ended up in the hospital instead. Now, here's what we can't ignore. This isn't the first time the Rock family has spilled into violence. Who can forget the viral clips of Chrisean fighting her own father in the street? Or the endless lives where siblings dragged each other for the world to see? Violence isn't shocking in this family, it's expected. But this, a mother versus cousin, custody showdown ending in blood and police reports. This feels like the point of no return, and that's why Tessa's explanation is hitting so hard. Because she's not just telling her side, she's painting a picture of betrayal that stretches across years, of a family that let fame and ego destroy the one thing that should have mattered, keeping a child safe and with his mother. And if she's right, if there really were people waiting, if there really were backroom deals, if Chrisean truly knew more than she let on, then we're not looking at just a tragic family fight. We're looking at a calculated move to shut a mother out of her child's life forever. The stakes couldn't be higher, the emotions couldn't be rawer, and the internet is already taking sides. Because Tessa may have finally spoken, but her truth is only the beginning. Picture this. It's a chilly late afternoon. It's a kind of day where the sun is setting, but the tension in the air feels hotter than fire. Tessa is standing outside Terrine's building, clutching her phone in one hand and a folded piece of paper in the other. A note she swears proves her right to see her son. Her voice is shaky but determined. Neighbors say she was muttering under her breath, "I just want my baby back." That's all. For weeks, she'd been brushed off, calls ignored, doors slammed. Family members too busy to intervene. So when she finally walked up those steps, she wasn't looking for a fight. She was looking for her child. The moment her hand touched that doorbell, the nightmare began. According to Tessa's own account, she barely got 2 knocks in before the door swung open and Terrine appeared smirking. Not nervous, not surprised, almost as if she'd been waiting. "Why you here?" Terrine allegedly snapped, phone already in her hand. "I came for my son," Tessa answered, and that's when the shouting started. Witnesses claim you could hear it from the street. Terrine yelling, Tessa pleading, the argument echoing like thunder through the halls. But what nobody expected was what came next. Because according to Tessa, Terrine wasn't alone. She says the moment she stepped forward, a man emerged from behind the doorframe, tall, broad-shouldered, someone she didn't recognize. He wasn't family. He wasn't a neighbor. He was a stranger. And his job, she claims, was to make sure she left without her son. The man allegedly blocked the doorway while Terrine filmed on her phone, screaming things like, "You're not fit to be a mother. You left him. You don't even ask for. You know more." Tessa's voice breaking, cried back, "That's a lie. He's my son. He knows me. He loves me. You can't do this." The tension snapped like a gunshot. Neighbors say they heard scuffling, a crash, then silence. Seconds later, Tessa was on the ground, clutched. Within minutes, an ambulance was called. And as Tessa was being loaded in, her son, standing in the window upstairs, could be seen peeking through the curtains, small, confused, watching his mother taken away, not understanding why. That single image, the boy in the window, the mother in the stretcher, has already become the most haunting symbol of this saga. But here's the twist. Hours later, Tessa lay in the hospital. Chastity went live to defend her sister. And in that live stream, she dropped a bombshell. She claimed that Terrine had called Chrisean earlier that same day, warning her that Tessa was coming. According to Chastity, Chrisean's response was chilling. "Handle it. Don't let her walk. Out with that boy." If true, that means Chrisean didn't just know what was about to happen. She approved it. The live went viral instantly. Thousands tuned in as Chastity ranted, crying, screaming, pointing fingers. She said Tessa was set up. She said Chrisean has been pulling strings behind the scenes for months. She even claimed there's a group chat where plans to block Tessa were openly discussed, a group chat that Chrisean herself is allegedly in. Screenshots started flying across social media. Some blurred, some fake, some maybe real. The damage was done, suddenly. This wasn't just Tessa versus Terrine. This was Tessa versus the entire Rock family machine. Fans couldn't believe it. Comment sections exploded. If Chrisean really said handle it, she's done. You fight Blueface's battles, but can't fight for your nephew to know his mother? This ain't family drama no more. This is criminal. And while Chrisean stayed silent, the internet decided her silence was guilt. But the first twist didn't end there, because just when people thought the story couldn't get darker, a mysterious video clip leaked on Twitter. It was only 8 seconds long, blurry, filmed from what looked like a peephole camera in the hallway. But in those 8 seconds, you could see everything. Tessa pounding on the door, the man stepping forward, and then the moment her body collapsed, the clip cuts off there, leaving more questions than answers. Did he hit her? Push her? Did she fall? No one knows. But the timing and the coldness of it all sent chills through everyone watching. The tweet caption, "Y'all still think this was an accident?" Overnight, the hashtag justice for Tessa surged into millions of posts. But a second hashtag also appeared, one that shocked even die-hard fans of The Rocks. Hashtag cancel Chrisean. The internet was dividing, and Chrisean's name was right in the middle of the storm. And here's where the first major twist fully lands. Hospital insiders leaked that while Tessa was being treated for bruises and internal bleeding, she whispered something terrifying to a nurse. Her words, "They told me if I kept pushing, I'd never see my son again. Not alive." Those 7 words. They flipped this story from family feud to full-on nightmare. Is this just a messy custody battle? Or is something much more sinister at play? And if Tessa's right, who exactly is making sure she never sees her child again? The internet was already on fire after Tessa's hospital admission and Chastity's explosive claims. But nothing could have prepared fans for what came next. Because this wasn't just messy family drama anymore. This was about to become a national scandal. It started with a mysterious Twitter account called @TruthForTessa, which dropped what looked like a series of leaked text messages between Terrine and an unnamed contact saved as R. In these alleged screenshots, Terrine writes, "She's coming again. I told you, we can't keep blocking her forever." And the response, "Don't fold. Remember what was signed. She don't got no rights no more. If she gets loud, record it." Fans immediately zoomed in. Who was R? Many speculated it could stand for Rock, as in Chrisean Rock herself. Others believed it was a CPS contact trying to keep things under wraps. Either way, the texts painted a chilling picture that Terrine wasn't acting alone, and that someone higher up was orchestrating this entire situation. And then came the second wave of chaos. TikTok detectives.clip started circulating with slowed-down versions of the leaked peephole footage, with users pointing out a third voice in the background, faint, muffled, but present. Some swore it was Chrisean. Others thought it sounded like a man. But the most viral claim, that it was a child crying, begging for his mom as the fight erupted. That theory shattered the internet. Videos under the hashtag #FredaSisson exploded. Edits showed the little boy smiling in old Facebook posts, now overlaid with captions like, "They took him. They're silencing her. And now they're silencing us." But if that wasn't enough to send shockwaves, the next reveal certainly did, because an insider leak dropped from inside the hospital. A nurse who insisted on anonymity told a gossip blog that while Tessa was being treated, she whispered something horrifying. "They told me if I kept fighting, my son would disappear. They told me I'd never see him again unless I signed." What? That's the question that ripped through every fan page, every forum, every comment section. Was there a custody transfer agreement? A backroom deal? A gag order? And just when people thought they were grasping the edges of the truth, another twist hit. A voice recording surfaced online, allegedly between Terrine and another family member. In it, Terrine says, "I don't care what anybody says. She was never supposed to pull up that day. She wasn't supposed to see him like that. Not after everything we've done to keep it quiet." Keep what quiet? Theories ran wild. Did Terrine and Chrisean make a private deal to keep Tessa away from her son permanently? Was CPS complicit, burying paperwork that would expose their mishandling? Or, the darkest theory of them all, was the child being used as leverage in something much bigger than a family feud? And then came the celebrity reactions. Summer Walker, who had already thrown shade, doubled down with a cryptic tweet when money plus power entered custody battles. Mothers always lose. Always. Cardi B, never one to hold her tongue, went live and said, "Listen, I don't know the Rock family like that. But if y'all leaking DMIs were people plotting on keeping a mother from her child, now that's dirty. God don't bless that." Even 50 Cent, yes, 50 himself, reposted a headline about the case on Instagram with the caption, "This like a Lifetime movie. Somebody lying big time. Wait till the lawyers eat this up." Industry backlash was brutal. Brands rumored to be working with Chrisean allegedly paused deals. Blogs reported whispers of networks second-guessing whether to feature her in upcoming reality TV projects. Because while fans might tune in for chaos, nobody wants to touch a scandal involving a mother, a child, and alleged violence. But here's where the shocking reveal lands like a bomb. Chastity went live AGAIN, and this time, she didn't come empty-handed. She held up what she claimed was a copy of a custody transfer agreement dated 6 months ago with Terrine's signature, a blurred-out CPS worker's name, and a third signature that looked eerily like Chrisean's initials. The comments blew up, so she'd been new. Chrisean signed off on keeping her nephew away from his own mom. This ain't drama, it's fraud. Within minutes, lawyers on TikTok started breaking it down. The document was real. It meant Terrine hadn't been acting solo. It meant there had been an orchestrated plan months in the making to strip Tessa of her rights quietly and permanently. And the final kicker. As Chastity was holding the paper up, she said something that froze fans in their tracks. "They think I'm scared. They think we won't expose them. But I already sent the unblurred copy to someone with power. If anything happens to me or my sister, y'all will see it all. We'll see it all." Boom! Now the Rock family feud isn't just in the hands of gossip blogs and fan accounts. It's in the hands of lawyers, activists, and possibly the courts. And with every leak, every voice note, every blurry video, the story shifts from messy family drama to something that feels like a calculated takedown. And the worst part? Tessa's son is still in the middle of it all. By now, this wasn't just a Rock family scandal. It had morphed into a cultural lightning bolt, splitting fans, pulling celebrities into the chaos, and forcing even industry insiders to pick sides. The hashtag Justice for Tessa was trending worldwide on Twitter, with more than 3.8 million tweets in less than 48 hours. TikTok was a minefield of reaction videos, edits, and breakdowns, while Instagram Lives turned into battlegrounds where fans fought tooth and nail over who to believe. And the divide, sharper than ever. The fan divide on one side. You had the Tessa supporters devastated by her hospital confession, demanding answers and calling for Terrine and Chrisean to be held accountable. Viral comments under the leaked texts read, "Y'all don't understand how painful it is for a child to cry for their mother and be denied. That's trauma for life. This ain't drama," says Human Rights. Where's the justice system? If Chrisean had a real heart, she'd be the first one defending Tessa. Her silence is guilt. These supporters organized virtual vigils, changed their profile pictures to candles, and shared artwork depicting Tessa holding her son with the caption, "Reunite them." But on the other side were the Chrisean defenders. They argued that fans were too quick to judge, that nobody really knew the legal details of the custody battle, and that Tessa might not be as innocent as she claimed. A top comment under Chrisean's vague IG story read, "What if Tessa did lose custody for a reason?" Y'all dragging Chrisean without facts. Another viral defense clip from a fan said, "Y'all forget Chrisean is still healing from her own trauma. Why is it her responsibility to fix everything in the family?" The result? Entire comment sections turned into heated debates. Not about music, not about Blueface, but about motherhood, accountability, and betrayal. The celebrity reactions, this was no longer confined to the Rock family. Big names were speaking up. Cardi B went live, holding her daughter on her lap, and said, "As a mother, I don't care what the paperwork says. The child knows their mama. Period. To watch another woman record and block that bond, I can't respect that." Tamar Braxton tweeted, "This situation is every mom's worst nightmare. CPS better not play games with this one." 50 Cent couldn't resist trolling, but still threw shade. "You know when the Rock family fights, somebody going to jail. Watch." But the most shocking reaction came from Blueface himself in a drunken IG live. He laughed at the entire situation. "That's crazy, man. Family beefing over a kid like it's the lotto. Y'all wild." Fans ripped him apart in the comments. "You laughing while a baby crying for his mom? Sick? This man got nerve when his own custody drama is a mess. Only fueled the fire." The industry fallout behind the scenes. Whispers started spreading fast. According to fake but juicy insider leaks, Chrisean's upcoming brand deals were suddenly under review. One fashion company allegedly paused a photo shoot, citing unresolved public controversy. Even more damning, blogs claim that networks considering Chrisean for reality TV projects started having emergency meetings. Nobody wanted to be linked to a scandal that fans were framing as a mother's child being stolen. Legal analysts on YouTube began breaking down the possibilities. Could Terrine face charges for assault or custodial interference? Could Chrisean be implicated if those leaked texts and signatures were real? Could CPS face a lawsuit for mishandling the case? The answer? All three. And fans weren't waiting for lawyers. They started petitions.onechange.org. Petition titled "Return Tessa's Son" racked up 350,000 signatures in 24 hours. Another, "Investigates CPS for corruption in the Rock case," was already climbing past 200,000. The emotional whiplash, perhaps the most heartbreaking reaction, came from fans who dug through old Facebook videos of Tessa. Clips of her singing lullabies to her son, feeding him, taking him to the park, now recirculating with captions like, "This is the bond they tried to erase." One video with nearly 5 million views showed her little boy saying, "Mommy, don't leave." Overlay text, "And now she can't come back." It crushed people. The cliffhanger reactions, but just when it seemed the outrage had reached its peak, Chastity posted one final cryptic message before vanishing from IG again. "Y'all think it's bad now? Wait till you see who else signed those papers." That sentence alone reignited the frenzy. Who else? Another cousin, CPS worker, or Chrisean herself? Theories swirled, threads multiplied. YouTubers posted reaction breakdowns. Public wasn't just watching, they were investigating, convinced they were uncovering a conspiracy in real time. And in the middle of it all, Tessa, silent healing, still waiting for her son, just when it seemed like the truth couldn't get any darker. A new piece of evidence surfaced, and this one might be the smoking gun. Late last night, a YouTube channel known for dropping celebrity leaks uploaded a blurred PDF document titled "Custody Agreement Addendum, Confidential." The uploader claimed it was sent anonymously from a family insider who wants the truth out. What it showed? Devastating. The document wasn't just about Terrine's guardianship. It included a clause suggesting that Tessa's parental rights had been permanently waived, not suspended, not temporary, but terminated. And in the signature section, there were 3 names: Terrine, a CPS caseworker, and a third signature labeled only R. Fans immediately zoomed in. The R was scrawled, rushed, almost like initials. But the internet wasted no time. Theories exploded that the R stood for rock, as in Chrisean rock herself. If that's true, it means Chrisean didn't just know about the arrangement. She may have actively signed off on her own sister losing her child. And here's the kicker. Alongside the PDF was a short audio file, allegedly from a court conference call. In it, a muffled female voice says, "Make sure this doesn't leak. If she finds out who signed, it's over for all of us." The audio ends abruptly, but the implication is chilling. Could it be that Tessa was never meant to know? That the hospital incident wasn't just a confrontation gone wrong, but part of a bigger plan to silence her before she could expose the truth. The fallout was instant. Twitter hashtags exploded. Hashtag who is our hashtag, cancel Chris EAN, hashtag justice for Tessa. Some fans argued the document could be fake. Others said even if it was forged, the fact that Chastity teased another signature means there's fire behind this smoke. And then, in the middle of the frenzy, a mystery Instagram account appeared, at @RZentYouThink. It posted one cryptic story. The R isn't Chrisean. The truth is bigger. The family ain't ready. Now the internet is split again. Isn't Chrisean? Who is it? A relative? A lawyer? A judge? And while fans argued, the scariest part of all came from Tessa herself. In her latest hospital update, she whispered directly into the camera, "They think they broke me. They think I'm done. But I have something they can't erase. When I get out of here, the world will see it." Boom. The cliffhanger is brutal. Tessa claims she has her own undeniable proof, something that could destroy Terrine's defense and expose whoever R really is. But will she survive long enough, legally and physically, to release it? Because if history has shown us anything, it's that the Rock family doesn't let secrets go quietly, and now the internet is holding its breath. Will Tessa finally get her son back? Or will the truth about her bury her before she has the chance? This isn't over. In fact, it's only just beginning. So now we put the question directly to you, because this story has reached a point where no one can stay neutral anymore. Do you believe Tessa's heart-wrenching account? That she was ambushed, silenced, and forced into the hospital simply for trying to hold her child again? Or do you think there's another side to this story? A side hidden behind sealed documents, blurred signatures, and whispers about R? Because here's the truth. Whether you love Chrisean Rock or not, whether you ride for her or ride for Tessa, this scandal isn't just about family drama. It's about power. It's about how far people will go to protect a secret.